on. It's not working here. Okay, nominations. Bob Hardiman is chairing the nominating committee. And Bob, would you like to say something? Bob is on Zoom.
I hope everybody participates.
Speak up a little bit, Bob. We can't hear you.
I hope everybody participates.
Okay, thank you. The nomination form will be included in the October bites. And the deadline for nominations is November the 1st. So if you can either email that to the office, cccgcoffice.gmail.com, or you can bring it in, but you have to have it in prior to the next, the November meeting, because that's not for a few days after the 1st. The deadline is on the 1st, and the first Tuesday, this is November 1, which is not the meeting date. It is? Oh. Okay, I was wrong. Okay, you're right. So I guess they could bring their vote to the meeting then. Is that correct? Their nomination to the meeting. Okay. Make sure that you have the nomination in before we actually, okay, have your nomination in by that night, because the following month in December, we will be voting on a new board. And it would be nice for some of you to step up and volunteer to run for an office on the board, or at least to nominate someone that you think would be a good candidate. Okay, our statistics for the month, we have, let's see. Oh, I say August and it should be September, shouldn't it? I'm sorry. We have in our office for the first 9 months of the year, we have, wait a minute, for the first 8 months of the year, we have completed 152 service tickets, which means those people have brought laptops or desktops in and have left them overnight for us to work on. This is various different things: computer repairs, updates, anti-malware and antivirus things. The walk-in support, we have accomplished about 400 year to date. That's quite a lot of people walking in the door. Every time I'm in the office, we have at least 5 people walk in, and the estimates that I've used here are very conservative. I'm probably only counting about a fourth of what we actually do, but I didn't want to, since we aren't, assigning them a number and tracking them individually. This gives us a better idea of what we're actually doing. Refurbished computers, we have completed 110, and we have actually delivered to either members who have purchased a refurbished computer, or to school children who have been recommended by their counselor or whatever. We have delivered 95. Our membership right now is standing at 359, excuse me. Okay, volunteers, we need volunteers. Yvette has been doing the bites for an awful long time. She took over from Rose, but Rose took over from Yvette years ago. Yvette is, promised that she would do this through the end of this year, but she will be retiring at the end of the calendar year. So I'm looking for someone who is willing to take on the editorial job of editing the Bites newsletter. Monthly setup, we generally have a good complement of people who are willing to volunteer to help us set up at the monthly meeting and tear down at the end of the meeting. But we're always looking for other people that are interested in helping out. Front desk, we always are looking for people to greet new members and answer the phone calls, take on the information on people that have problems and put them into, our pile of those things that need to be done by either Harold or myself or Rose or Mark or Fran when he's in town. Computer refurbishing, tear down. Lydia says we don't need anyone in the back room right now. Is that still correct? Okay, when do you anticipate that you'll need more people helping out in the back room? Okay, so in a couple of months, they will be needing other people to tear down and refurbish the computers that are donated to us. And we always need instructors and presenters. And Mark did a presentation a few months ago. He's doing another one tonight. We also have presenters that we're pulling from other sources, like some of the video organizations that we belong to, some of the other clubs. Okay, we have asked you in the past to please promote the club through the Nextdoor services that we have in the community. Sign up for Nextdoor and share your experience with other people. Last month I posted that something from Bob Hardiman. He posted this on Nextdoor, and we had 3 new members as a result of that. This month, Lita Boyko has answered a subscriber's question. They wanted new equipment. They were replacing equipment in their office and wanted to know what they could do with the old equipment. Lita got on and said, well, you can bring it to our organization and we will refurbish it and repurpose it for someone else. And this is a great way to get the word out. And thank you very much, Lita, for doing that. Oh, yes, yes. We have some new flyers that I put together for advertising our organization, and I happen to go to Olympia every morning for breakfast. So I posted a flyer on their window or their door that advertises. So if you see it, please bring your neighbors, ask them to come and join us. Some of the things that are benefits for belonging to our organization, our membership is only $35 a year for a single or $45 for a 2-person household. And we offer free computers to those that are needy. We offer free in-house technical support for our members. We offer both in-house and Zoom technical training. We also have our drawings for our computer and 50/50 and for gift cards. We also have a free membership to APCUG, and that is where we have gotten some of the videos that we have shown this year for our meetings. That's where the one last month on the hearing aids came from. And we also, members can purchase refurbished computers for $50 for a desktop or $75 for a laptop. And occasionally we have some Apple products and we offer those for donations. We don't support the Apple products, though. We do support the Windows products. Okay. Oops. We're going to come back. Up. Okay. Yeah, just leave it there and I can forward. I can go forward. Okay, volunteer of the month. Nanette, would you stand up, please? Oh. Nanette was walking around with that microphone tonight, and she's been doing that for several meetings. Thank you very much for helping us out doing that. It really helps the flow of the meeting. She also, when Rose was on vacation, she was taking minutes of the monthly meeting and also taking the photos for the gift cards and the 50/50 and the computer drawing. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. And yeah, come down after the meeting and we will take your photo. And usually we have a certificate and usually we have something else along with that, like money. We don't have either one of those tonight, but we'll take your photo anyway. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Whoa. Okay. The favorite of the month is Imager. So I'm going to turn this over to George. Oh, where's the microphone? There you go.
Imager is artificial intelligence on your photos. The website is in the bites and on our webpage. And you can see the difference between the two pictures. This is specially made for pictures that kind of look funny and a little off kilter, and it'll act it right up. You can go to imagelarger.com and get all the information. And what they do is they would like you to purchase it, but they do have a free membership where you can do 8 pictures a month to get them into focus and better detail. Any questions? Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Mark, it is all yours.
All right, can you hand me the clicker there?
There you go. Oh, there you go.
You want me to introduce the
Oh, yeah.
program here?
Yes, please. I'm sorry.
Okay, everybody hear me okay? Okay, coming up with a program. What I want to do is to give you a little bit of advance of what our programs are going to be the next couple of months. So with great anticipation, you can come to the next meetings. The one for October, this is really interesting. I watched a brain implant that turns your thoughts into text. Now, I got to be careful who's reading the text at the time when you're doing this, if you get that implant. So should be interesting. And then for November, let me ask, are there any people that do genealogy research or Cape Records? I see a couple of hands up. I guess I started it years ago. I would go out to Salt Lake City on a regular basis with my job, and I'd spend the evenings at the Mormon library there. That was in the days of microfilms, and you'd scan these microfilms looking at things. Things have changed since then. So of course, computer technology has entered into it. So for November, we have Julia McIntyre. She's from the Charlotte County Genealogy Society. And the subject will be organizing your genealogy on your computer. Now, I'm really looking forward to that. Now I'm retired, I'm supposed to have a lot of time on my hands, so maybe I'll do that someday. Now, for this evening's presentation, we have Mark Kreider, Cutting the cable. A question for you, cutting the cable, what did that mean? How many people here remember the days that you had a black and white TV? You had rabbit ears up on the top, and you had just the rabbit ears, and at 9 o'clock, perhaps the national anthem came on. Some of you are probably younger, older than I am. I remember those days. Well, we don't have to do that anymore. However, I'm still tied to the cable. I kind of like my things, but Mark's going to convince us why we should cut our cable and do some great things with it. Mark Ryder, thank you.
Well, thank you, guys. Just one quick question before we get going. How many people have actually cut the cable and gone to streaming? Oh, good. Well, this presentation, I think will maybe help you guys think about why you might want to do this. I've been a streamer from way back back in the days when I was trying to do dial-up. You talk about tough streaming back then. It was tough. So the topics I'm just going to cover today, and probably be pretty brief on this because it's actually a pretty big topic. First of all, why would we want to cut the cord? Second, what is it exactly you need to do to be able to successfully stream to your TV? And then I'm just going to try to cover some streaming options for you, discuss a little bit of the devices that you might be thinking about if you're going to stream your TV, and some of the software or applications that are on those devices that help you stream. So the first thing is, why would you want to cut the cord? Save money. That's the big thing right there. Way back when, we probably remember when cable first came in, it was cheap. You got a lot of, relatively a lot of channels for almost nothing. And you didn't have a whole lot of ad supported TV. It was pretty cool. But over the years, they kept piling on, and every year it just went up and up. Right. So the cost of cable right now, the average monthly cable package right now, anybody have a guess? $217.42, the average. Yeah, right. That's nothing fancy right there. That's just your average. How about the cost of just your internet alone? Let's say if you just went to internet, anybody have a guess what it might be? The average is about $61 a month right now. So we could do some really high-tech math here. So $156.42 you're paying for your content. So your internet, but the rest of this is what you're paying to watch. Or you might have a landline thrown in there. But most people these days probably have a cell phone and just get rid of the landline anyway. Okay, let's talk about cord cutting, what it is. Cord cutting is actually the easiest thing in the world to do. All you have to do is call up your cable provider and say you want to cancel it. But the timing of that is very important. And the reason is because if you have a cable package, you probably have a contract for a certain period of time. So if you call them up and say, hey, I just want to dump the TV package and leave my cable, they say, that's fine, but we're going to have a hefty termination fee for you. So one of the things you want to consider if you're going to cut the cord is take a look at when your contract end date is. And if you're going to consider cutting the cord, probably about a month ahead of time, start looking into cutting the cord then. And that gives you an idea of how it works. And you don't lose what you have right now, and you're not going to have a huge termination fee at the end of your contract. So when you call them up at the end of the contract, you say, hey, I don't want this anymore. And they say, well, we can do a little better deal for you. And you can actually negotiate a pretty good deal with them at that time because they want to keep you as a customer. And no matter how much they say, you really want to keep your cable, tell them, no, don't need it. I'm going to stream everything. And even I know Xfinity came out with what is called a flex box, that sort of thing. They give you one free, but if you have more than one TV, you're going to be paying a monthly fee to have another flex box. connected to that. And that fee is every month. And that builds up over time. But when you go into streaming and stream your own TV, there is an upfront fee, if you will, not fee, but purchase that you have to make. But after that initial purchase, that's it. One and done.
Until it breaks.
Okay. And part of cord cutting that probably is the most tricky part of it is actually thinking about what do I actually watch? And if I do cut the cord and go with a streaming service, what content do I really want? Do I want local news? How can I find that local news when I'm streaming? Let's say you want MSNBC or CNBC. How can I find that content when I'm streaming? And that's why you want to start about a month ahead of time before the end of your contract period to start looking into this, because it's out there. Trust me. If you're looking for a particular, like a CNBC, I love CNBC. Every morning I wake up with Squawk Box, but there's only certain streaming providers that actually give you that as part of the package. And it took me a while to figure out exactly who it was. But the nice thing about these streaming services, they have a try before you buy. So they'll give you a week. They may even give you, in the case of Hulu, a month to try it out, and you don't pay anything. So you might try 3 or 4 different services and decide which one really fits your needs. And it could come down to maybe you subscribe to more than one service. Okay, now let's talk about what is it that I really need to stream to my TV. Number one, you can't get rid of your internet. You're still going to need an internet connection. These days, around here, I know we got Xfinity, Comcast, which aren't my friends, CenturyLink, and I've heard a lot of people have a wonderful time with them.
Mhm.
There's also, there's another couple options that are starting to show up in the area. One is T-Mobile, and it's over the cellular network, and Verizon Home Internet. Verizon Home Internet, as far as I know, really hasn't gone around into the market here yet. But T-Mobile Home Internet is. Actually, I dumped Comcast in favor of T-Mobile, and we've had a little bit of growing pains with them, but it's working out pretty good. And actually, the cost of T-Mobile, if you're actually a T-Mobile cellular member, for me, I'm over 55, so we have the Magenta plan, is only $40 a month, and there's no speed caps and there's no total data caps, so you're not getting limited as far as your data.
So what speed do you get with 40?
Right now, we get somewhere between 40 and 50 megabits per second
Okay.
down.
That's a reasonable amount.
Right. So, and it's over cellular. So, and it's supposed to, when they get the 5G working, we're talking hundreds of megabits per second. So it should get much better. Actually streaming to your TV, you not only need an internet connection, but you either need a box with software or software on your smart TV to be able to stream to that TV. Some of those external devices, and we'll talk about those a little more later. Roku, if you probably heard of that one. Fire TV, which is Amazon's version of that. Chromecast, which, probably isn't that known out there so much. And then if you're an Apple user, there might be Apple TV. And the last, and we're probably not going to talk a whole lot about that, is Android TV, but that is actually a streaming option. And the other thing is, like I said, smart TV. If you have a smart TV, you already have the ability to stream to it anyway, because the smart TV has a Wi-Fi connection in it to talk to your Wi-Fi. And it also has the software to get the applications to actually run different services right there already. The only thing about smart TVs, every manufacturer has their own implementation of that. So every version, like Vizio has their interface, Sony has theirs, Samsung has theirs, and they all look a little different. So the only real suggestion I have there, I've been through a few different TVs. We do have them, but I ended up going with a Roku because I love their interface. It's simple, it's easy to understand, and I have them on all my TVs. It all works the same. And the nice thing about Roku is that the setups you have for your applications go from one to the other. So if you have your setup the same on your main TV, if you go to, let's say, one in your bedroom, the setup is going to be exactly the same. Okay, and a lot of questions as far as streaming goes. What are the minimum internet speed requirements that you need to successfully stream? And you'd be surprised. So these are a lot of the major players. Netflix is only 5 megabits per second. Now this is per device or per TV. So if you're running one TV, it's only 5 megabits per second. Now, if you have 2 TVs, it's 10. And if you have 3, obviously it's 15. DirecTV, they say between 2.5 and 7.5. So you can figure 5 there. Vudu, which anybody know what Vudu is? It's actually a movie streaming service, or used to be anyway. And they're at their HD is 450 kilobytes per second or 5 megabits per second. Amazon Video, if you have Amazon Prime, theirs is 5 megabits per second for HD. And Sling TV, which has been around for ages, same thing, 5 megabits. So you can see actual speed is not the issue. Every internet provider out there that you have right now basically is going to be what they do is try to upsell you as far as the speed goes. So if you go to talk to Xfinity or Comcast, you say, well, I'm getting 300 megabits per second download, and geez, just for another $15 a month, we can get you to 600 megabits per second. We'll give you the blast for a year. Of course, at the end of the year, you really get blasted. But anyway, but it's not gonna change how your streaming works on your TV. It's going to be exactly the same. So the buffering and everything else, if you get above these limits at a consistent basis, you're just not going to have buffering issues. Now, the caveat to that is now we're going from HD to 4K, right? So now we want some really pretty high content. The minimum for 4K is 25 megabits per second per device. So it ups the game a little bit, but that's still not bad for streaming. All right, we'll talk about some cord cutting options here. Streaming video on demand. Basically what this is it's not live TV, it's not live content. It's stuff like movies and that sort of thing, or let's say YouTube videos, that sort of stuff. It's it's not actual live, it's just there and you can start it and stop it and go back to it at any time. The other part of that is live TV streaming services. And that's mostly, like your commercial TV, CBS, NBC, that sort of thing, CNBC live. The most popular streaming video on demand services are out there are Netflix. If you have an Amazon Prime account, Amazon, HBO, which is like HBO Max these days, Hulu, and another one is Tubi. So those are popular ones you'll hear out there. Live streaming TV services. Now we start getting into the more, what I would consider things that people use a lot. The top of the list I have here is Pluto TV. Pluto TV is free. It's called ad supported, which is what we're used to all now because just watching ads, right? Pluto TV originally just started out as live content, but now they have 2 sections to it. So they combine them. It has a live and an on-demand content portion to it. DirecTV, if you're an AT&T customer, part of that package is going to be DirecTV. Another one is called Fubo TV. And if you're into soccer, that's probably an application you might consider. Hulu at one time was pretty much a on-demand service, and they crossed over to live TV too. So you get like 85 or so channels with Hulu with live TV. As I mentioned, Pluto TV is free. So you can go on there and spend all your time figuring out whether that content is what you want. Hulu with live TV is $65 a month. So it's it bumps it up, but the content is fresher, it's newer, and like I said, with Pluto TV, it's all ad supported. Sling TV is probably one of the oldest streaming services out there. They have like 3 tiers of programs. They start as low as $35 and they go up from there to around $5 or so. But like I said, these are what you want to do before you cancel your contract on your current cable. Check these out because you can load one up, try it out, see how it works for you. And if you don't like it, just take the app off. The last is YouTube TV. That's Google's version. It's $64.99 a month.
Google? You said it was Google's version?
And actually, it's a live TV. The nice thing about both YouTube and Hulu is they have a DVR section to them, which so you can actually save a lot of different content that you want to watch later in your library, and it's always there. It's unlimited, so you can just keep adding to it whatever you want. It's like I never watched Downton Abbey for the longest time, and me and my wife streamed the heck out of it here. So I just kept adding it to our library, and we just watched the whole thing. We binge watched it. But you have to be a little bit careful. Like I said, there's a huge savings in there if you want to start streaming and just decide what different subscription services you want. But they can kind of add up. So let's say if you like movies from Netflix, you go to their standard packages like $13.99. If you got Amazon Prime, it's $8.99 a month. Paramount Plus, like I said, if you go down and select all these and subscribe to all these, it could be up to around $120 a month. A little trick, I think, that after you kind of get into the streaming thing, what you learn is, let's say that Disney Plus has a series that you want to watch for the grandkids or whatever when they come over. So what you can do is subscribe to it for a month. They can binge watch all they want on that, and at the end of the month, cancel it. There's no termination fees or anything else. So it's just, let's say there's a series that comes on. I know a popular one right now is like The Mandalorian. So if you wait till all the series comes out, they can watch The Mandalorian all month long and then just cancel it for $8 a month. Not a bad deal. But you got to remember at the end of the month to cancel the subscription. The devices that you would need, like I said, you could do a smart TV. It actually has this built into it. For the really popular devices are Roku, Fire Stick, which is Amazon's version, and Apple TV, and Chromecast with Google TV, which is relatively new. Some of the Roku streaming devices, I'm a little partial to Roku. I don't work for them. I don't get any kickback, but I do like their product. I've used it for several years. You can start out right at the bottom end at $25. What it'll get you is high definition, which is not bad, tell you the truth. Unless you got a 4K TV, HD is all you're going to get. If you jump up to that, to the stick is a 4K device, and it's $40 a month. Or not, excuse me, not a month. It's $40, and that's it. A one-time shot. And then the very top of the line is the Ultra. The thing about the Ultra is it's 4K. If you happen to have a sound bar that supports Dolby Atmos, it'll support that. The remote there, the controller, is rechargeable also. Rather than burning it through batteries, you just plug it in and recharge it, which is really nice. And the nice thing about the Ultra also is if you have a wired Ethernet, you can actually connect it up with that. The top two, the Express and the Stick, are totally wireless or Wi-Fi. Amazon has their flavor of this, the Fire TV Stick, and it goes anywhere from $25 to $40, and it has it's different options. Also, their top of the line is the Fire 2 Cube at $119. These prices, by the way, vary day to day. If you go on Amazon, I went on there the other day and you can get a Fire Cube for $60. But a lot of it depends on if you're invested in the Amazon environment. Let's say you have a lot of echoes or whatever, you can actually talk to the Echo and it'll change channels and do that stuff for you. So that's why you might want to consider Amazon instead of, let's say, Roku. Apple TV device. Sorry, guys, I'm not an Apple guy. So I can't tell you a whole lot about Apple TV other than it's probably the most expensive option as far as the device to stream with. And relatively new, Chromecast has been around for quite a while. Now they've added Chromecast plus Google TV. It's about $40. And I gather it's going to be a pretty nice feature because they're going to incorporate the other streaming services from Amazon into their thing a little more, and YouTube TV a little more seamlessly. Just to give you an idea, this is a home page. When you start up your TV, and let's say you want to select a particular streaming service, you start up your TV, hit home on your little remote device, and this is what it'll show you. So let's say if you want to watch a movie on Netflix, you just hit the Netflix and it, bang, you go into the Netflix application to go to your movies. Same thing, Prime Video, HBO Max. So it's not like you have to subscribe to these. These are just applications that you select that you want up on your homepage when you bring your TV up. Like I said, the nice thing about Roku is very flexible. You can move these around. You can select which ones you want. If you go down to, let's say, search down below there, and you want to find, let's say, something that has local news. There's a couple applications or streaming services that are free. One of them is called Local Now. And it basically, you put in it'll actually find out, or it'll figure out what your zip code is. And it'll give you an option to see what local news stations are in the area that you want to watch. So that, like I said, once you set up your Roku and stuff, or if you go with the Roku, it would look something like this. Obviously, the guy with the background with the sheriff there, that's going to be, you can set that to yourself or to whatever you want for a background. The other nice thing with the Roku is lately, they've also added a screensaver, which I think is pretty cool. So we had a little party about, a couple months ago that it was a horse racing thing. It was for the Belmont Stakes. Well, one of the things you could do is set it up to show up pictures. So I selected a whole bunch of racehorse pictures. So it went up to the screensaver and it just rotates through those, as those photos as far as a screensaver goes, which is pretty nice. They also have a fantastic aquarium screensaver.
Mhm.
Okay, just a quick review of things I covered. A little on cord cutting. What it entails basically is calling your cable company, and if you really cut the cord, it's just getting rid of your TV part of your package. Kind of what you really need to stream, the devices that we talked about, the speeds that you probably need, which are pretty minimal actually, and some of the streaming options there. I know we covered a whole bunch pretty quickly here, and so if you really want to talk about it some more, what I'd like to do is propose to do an in-person class on the 21st from about 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So if you want to come on down to the office, so we can sit down and go through these options. I know we covered them pretty quick and a lot of things to talk about there. But if you want to come down and we can just sit down and talk about what you might want to do and see if you're interested in cutting the cord. So that's pretty much the end of the presentation for the night. Any questions?
I have a comment on the Roku Ultra. That's what I have in my house too. And it gives you the opportunity to also plug in, if you have a library of movies that you've saved or shows that you've saved, you can plug that in and you can do that right through the app on their, I can't remember what it's called. It's the one we use 90% of the time. My husband will not accept anything that has a commercial in it, so we definitely had to go streaming because when we were with Dish prior to that, and we were paying for all the premium services, we were not watching any of the basic stuff. We were all watching only the premium things. And if a commercial ever came on, he was out the door. So that's another reason to cut the cord.
I have a few comments. Hello, my name is George, and I cut the cord in 2017, and it's been wonderful. I pay about $26 a month for some specialty stations, and I have at least 500 stations. And one thing you should know, that when you call Comcast or CenturyLink, when you pay in October, you're paying for November at the time. So when you tell them, don't say I want to cut the cable now, make sure you look at your ending date, because they're going to get a month, and for some reason, they decide not to say anything. You say you want to cut it off, they'll cut you off, period. And I've saved thousands of dollars. I also have a Roku, I have a Plex, and a Fire Stick. And between things, I have over 500 stations. And the only bad thing about it is, every once in a while with 500 stations, I
still
can't find
can't.
anything to watch.
Yep.
So
Uh,
that's why it's really important that you really kind of think about what things you actually watch, because there you can be overwhelmed by the amount of content that's out there. It's something else.
Streaming is great for binge watching a series. I will start a series, and you have these that are now going on 15, 16, 17 years of shows, and you start at episode 1 and you just keep going on and on and on and on. And you can do that forever. And for those, shows that I never watched when they were on originally, and now I'm finally starting to see some things that 10, 20 years ago when they were popular, I wasn't around or I wasn't watching those.
Any other questions?
Push the button.
I just wanted to point out what you get with whichever system you go with. I'm on YouTube TV and I get 85 channels, more than I need because I watch the same 5 channels.
Mhm.
And to that YouTube TV, I added Netflix because I do like the movies. So you kind of watch too how much is offered with each one. And I just love it, and I'm very happy with YouTube TV. And I'm on Roku devices.
Mhm.
We cut the cord in 2014, and we have a smart TV in the main living room, which has Amazon Prime on it. And we have 2 other TVs in other parts of the house that have a $15 antenna stuck on the window. Those TVs that have the antenna are pulling in in excess of 22 stations and now also radio stations. And it has all the local channels, ABC, NBC, CBC, Fox, and sub channels like My TV. You can watch those. My wife watches them all day. With the smart TV, we have Amazon Prime on it, and we then purchase on a month-to-month basis. We rent Acorn or BritBox on a month-to-month basis, and just love to watch all the old British detectives and murder mysteries. It's great.
Gary.
Thank you.
I don't think any of us who have cut the cord have any regrets. It's, you have a one-time flat fee and for the equipment, and then it's a much less expensive ongoing charge.
Right. I'm the other half of George. And we watch very different things. We also have a smart TV. We also invested into the window antenna because I really like Me TV and I like watching local news. Another thing that we have done besides some of the streaming products is connected the computer to it using free USTV Go, which also has, I forget, about 50 channels there. Oh, 185 is available. Some of them require a VPN. Others come in really well. I use that for all my Hallmark channels coming on November for Christmas movies. But I was upset in the beginning when George suggested that we do this because I loved the cable at that point. But we have more channels now than when we had cable. And like George said, sometimes I still can't find something that I want to watch. So, but it is great for binging.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I think that Mark certainly opened up some thoughts tonight and maybe some cost saving opportunities. I know we're running late, but I'm sure Mark will be around afterwards to answer any kind of individual questions for you. Mary, turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. And I need could you
We'll bring it back.
bring it back, please? And, oh, you can flip it.
Yeah.
Okay, door prizes. Let's draw for the door prize. Behind you. Okay. Okay, we have some newbies here. Let's have the newbies do the drawing. Oh,
Four.
I only have 4. Okay. You're supposed to draw your own.
I didn't want to do it because I thought I'd draw my own.
Okay, and she's still your friend if she drew yours. 180. Last 3 digits, 180. All right, okay. Now, what I want you to do is, after the meeting is finished, come on down and we'll take your picture and we'll give you a card. Oh, yes, could you give us your name, please? Last name? Okay, very good. Mary, you want to pick one?
Well, my fingers don't work.
No, you got more than one.
Okay.
Okay. 199. All right. Your friend didn't pick it for you, but Okay. Since you've already won, why don't you pick the next one? Okay. 197. Okay. Oh, we need names again. Or you want to pick the last one for us? Okay, and the last one is 206. Okay. Okay. Someone who hasn't, do you not have a 50-50? Okay. 238. Okay. So 50-50 goes to, what is your name? Name? Oh, how much do we have for the 50-50? Did anybody count the 50-50? Well, we'll surprise you. We'll surprise ourselves too. So, okay.
You'll be happy though.
Okay, you didn't do for a computer either, right? So you can draw. Okay, the ticket for the computer. $435. All right, there you go. Okay, so King Cook got that, and the computer is it's Windows 11. It's an i5, which is really nice. It has let's see, what does it have? It has terabyte drive, and it has 12 gigabytes of memory. So very nice. Okay, thank you very much. And any more questions, comments before we go? Well, thank you very much for coming, and our next meeting is October the 4th. Always the first Tuesday. Thank you very much.
Sexualizing our kids. I was